Morning everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Asquith Sk. That is the first load of feed in front of the milk cows there. That's the first thing I always do when I come to the farm. I mix that first load of feed for the milk cows, unless I'm busy with something else like silaging or hauling manure. But that is always my first chore of the day. Next thing I'm gonna do, they are drying off some cows in the barn, so I'm gonna go see if that is done and if there needs to be any help over there. And then I think we're gonna just cut hay today in the swathers, so that would be nice. We'll see what we get up to. All right, the next thing I'm gonna be doing today is cutting grass. We cut some alfalfa last week, got some rain on it unfortunately, but we'll take the rain. We're gonna cut another, what do we got? It's probably close to 200 acres total of grass to cut yet. Quite a few. Check the oil. That is looking good and full. We're pulling up to our grass field. I'm going to put you guys on the outside of the swather because it's probably more entertaining to watch that than me as we start this field. That is field number one done and dusted. Gonna go eat some lunch and then we will keep hammering down the acres after. Just came back from lunch. We're gonna get right back into cutting, but first we're gonna fuel it up. We have a quarter tank of gas now after this morning. Okay, we got her fueled up. We're gonna do a little patch of grass right beside our tree field. This is always probably the roughest field that we drive on every year. It's because there's been grass here for 15 years. No cash crop or nothing, so the moles have taken to it and destroyed it. Still produces grass though, so we still cut it. Let's go bounce around a little bit and then we'll be off to the next field. I think this is literally like 2 acres, so it won't take long anyway. The swather does have cab suspension, so it does make it a little bit easier. And the seat that obviously has the air ride, so those two things combined does make it a little nicer. But you guys can probably see I'm still bouncing around pretty good. Can't do anything else with this, so just gotta stay grass. We cut that little piece beside the yard. We are now gonna go to the next field, which is a few kilometers away. So I wanna put this thing in transport mode. This is a dual direction swather. So if we make a little bit of room here, we can switch the direction of the drive. It feels weird. It really does, but efficiency is king, right? 16 miles an hour, or like 25-ish, I think. It does go quite a bit quicker. It's also a lot easier to control. Like your steering feels a lot more stable in this mode. The swather isn't really meant to go fast in that direction, so this is a pretty cool compromise or way to go around that problem. Well, as quickly as we put it in road transport, we're out of it again, we can start cutting. I kind of want to make a new field for this one, see exactly. Finished with field, yep. A+, 90 degrees, yeah, sure. No boundary. I just want to see exactly how many acres this patch is. It's just what's in the trees here, over there, so not a big patch. I'm guessing it's around 10 acres, but this is why I want to find out. This patch of grass usually does really good because this area catches a ton of snow throughout the winter. It all melts and goes into the ground, and then we always end up with a nice grass crop here. Definitely looks heavier than the other field we were just in, the one we cut this morning. We finished this field now too. It was 8.5 acres. All right, that means we've done the 3 small pieces, and now we're gonna head over to the one big piece. Probably, you know, if we get half of that done today, it'll be a good day. So we're busy with the outside rounds of this field, and there is some patches in here that are just unbelievably heavy, and the haybine head is just struggling to put it through. We slowed right down, but we still got her plugged. So this thing luckily though does have a reverse function. I killed the drive to the header. We're just going to hold the reverse button and then engage it again, and hopefully she's gonna spin out. Come on, girl, there she goes. Oh yeah, look at that. Huh. Now I'm gonna fire it up. Okay, I can see it shot through there. Just try to drive a little slower. We are having issues, folks. This crop is incredibly heavy in some spots. It's pretty patchy. It's heavy where the alfalfa is thick, like right here. And it looks like there's just not enough power on this thing to keep that header moving. Well, we had a really rough go here. There's another low patch. Plugged it like 5 times. Plugging. Don't know what the heck is going on. We checked the oil level, and that is low. So it looked like it just didn't have power for some reason. Like, this swather should have all the power in the world to drive this header, but every time it got just a little bit heavy, not even bad at all, it just slowed right down and couldn't do it anymore. And that's just because this header is not getting the hydraulic flow that it needs to push the crop through anymore. So we're gonna drive back to my truck over there, and then we'll head back to the yard and we'll pick up a couple pails of the fluid this thing needs for driving itself, which is actually 15W40 engine oil. That's what it uses in the hydraulic system. So Got a pail full. Hopefully that's all we need. A little bit of pressure on there. Try not to splash everything under. There we go. I wonder where that'd be leaking if it was. I think the guy would see some fluid somewhere. Well, I hope that was it. If we're lucky that is, then we only lost about an hour because of it. Thankfully, the reverse has been continuing to work, because otherwise that would have sucked. I don't know, it seemed to hesitate there a little bit again. Well, that's unfortunate. The adding of oil didn't solve our problem, so something else is up. Just as soon as we get to anywhere where there's just a little bit of crop, it just quits feeding through these crimper rollers in the back. I mean, there is some dirt buildup in here, but is that gonna do it? I don't know. Probably, actually. There's some nasty crap here. Why is there so much dirt in here? It's unreal. It's all those molehills. That side of the header apparently was not so bad. This side was worse, and it was the worst right in front of where it got to go through the crimper rollers. So got that cleared up. Hopefully that solves our issue. That would be a pretty simple fix. Guy thinks it's right away, oh, something with the machine is wrong, but could be something as simple as a little bit too much dirt build up there, not letting the crop flow. Yeah, I thought we were making good progress, but it just started plugging again. So I don't know, and almost all of the dirt worked itself clean there, so it can't be the dirt anymore either. Oh boy. Let's see if we can get into our head here. I almost start to think that something's slipping in here. Oh, look at that. That's nice. That's what I needed too. That's epic. Brent is going to come out and have a look. That's good news. That's excellent news. Well, Brent came out. I did clear 100% of the dirt off of the head, which seemed to help a little bit, but it still plugs like way sooner than it should. So he thinks now that there's some sort of a valve that's getting weak. He said it happened before on this machine, so he's going to go back to the yard and see if we have a spare part. We can still keep cutting a little bit, just slower than what we could otherwise. It's kind of like with all that dirt, it made it plug a lot easier, even though it shouldn't have plugged. But it's plugging because that valve is weaker than it should be. Brent came out and we looked at the swather a bunch, changed a bunch of settings on the header, how it was cutting. It was not set up properly at all, but now we're running into this issue of just, yeah, we were just plowing this ahead. Look at this. It's just all muck. The sand out here, the soil, it's really clay. Like this is just pure clay. It's unreal. And then the moles, they pile it up and then it just starts pushing clay. It's seriously insane. Like, look at this. It just builds up. That's our biggest issue right now. It just keeps plugging and plugging and plugging and plugging and plugging. Thank goodness we're just going to be baling this. If nothing went wrong this afternoon, I think we would have been close to getting it done. Not quite, but really close. There's still now, though, 50 acres left or so. So we'll have to put in a good day tomorrow and then we'll be able to finish it off. We did figure some things out, though, I think this afternoon. It has a lot to do with the molehills in this field. So the only thing you can do about that is kind of rip this field of hay up and then farm it cash crop a couple years, or like something like barley and silage it and seed it again the next spring. Kill all the moles off.